past the hour of 9 o'clock. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It rained yesterday, and I got some of it on me yesterday when I got up off at when I was inside. Was it Jerry? No, not Old Jerry. Okay, I gone past Old Jerry. Eastern Bypass. Aha, right. So I was walking down the road. I was trying to get a bus, right? Obviously, because of the rain, maybe everywhere was full, so I had to walk, brisk walk. I have no patience. I'm sorry to say this, but I have no patience when it comes to waiting for taxis. So if I'm standing, right, and after 5 or 10 minutes, I don't get something or get a bus or vehicle, I just start walking, all right? And where I was, all right, it wasn't too far. So I'm like, no need. I'll just walk it down. What, 5 to 6 minutes, not going to kill anybody, right? And I got there. Now, when I was there, and up until, in fact, before I got there, last week, I overheard, some people on my street, making comments about what this guy did, what this guy did. You know how neighborhoods are, when people are having conversations. And then came the bit that really pricked my attention. It had to do with a generator, right? Now, this morning, we are talking about unhealthy competition. Now, first and foremost, what is unhealthy competition? Now, it is when the competition itself is good. The idea that there is a goal to be achieved, right? And so you do your best to be the first, or at least one of the earliest to achieve that particular, goal, right? It could be building a house, or in terms of sports, scoring the first goal or the winning goal, or topping the league, or in class, who comes first in class, for example. All those are competition. Now, when it becomes unhealthy, right? It is when it blinds us and you to the improvements that you are meant to be making. And this happens more often than not when you focus on the other person rather than yourself. That's unhealthy competition. And it gets to a point where it becomes actually toxic. You're constantly competing. You're constantly comparing yourselves to other people. You're leading. You've gotten yourself where you are insecure about yourself, and then in a bid to continuously stay at top, some of you will put other people down. But this is where we are getting into with this unhealthy competition. You see, one of the earliest times I remember having this unhealthy competition coming in our social space was in the early 2000s. I don't know if you, once again, this is my opinion, right? This is from my own, observation. In the early 2000s, sometime between 2002, 2003, right? When it became very common for a lot of Nigerians to buy the very small portable generators. Now, it was a joke, but over the years, I've heard my father say this, and I've heard some, much older, mature individuals say this, that the nickname that was given to those small generators, right? They used to be found in electrical shops. Electricians back in those days, they were the only ones that would have that small portable generator, so they can use their soldering iron and whatnot. But soon they found their way to people's homes. We ignominiously called them "I pass my neighbor." And that, ladies and gentlemen, for me is the genesis of this unhealthy competition that we have in this country. You go to bars, you go to restaurants, right? There's a let's use clubs, right? Let me use clubs, and also let me use what you call them, churches. All right. So you go to bars, you go to churches. Now, when you go to bars, ideally you're meant to have fun. When we used to go to the nightclubs and bars in Port Harcourt, those of you who remember Dreams, those days, we were small. Our aim in life that time, maybe we just enter Dreams. Maybe we just enter Liquid. Maybe we just enter. We're small boys. We didn't know better. Oh, I just rhymed. But when we got there, do you know what we were doing? We were dancing We were dancing. We were shaking our body. We didn't care. We would buy, I remember those days, we would buy, those of us who used to come back then, we will contribute money. It's not a joke. We will contribute money before we will get to the club those days. Then a bottle of whiskey was being retailed inside the bar at about 7,000 or 8,000. So all of us, and we will go there, 11 man strong, 11 of us, we will all contribute our 1,000 naira. We'll bring it out. We'll have been saving this money for like 2 or 3 weeks. So we'll bring this 1,000 naira out. Then we'll give one guy. Then that guy will go, he'll buy his drinks. Everybody will buy your what do you call them? Your sodas, right? Everybody will buy your sodas. But 11 of us, 11 man strong at this bar. We will drink one bottle of that whiskey with our, soft drinks. And everyone will be happy. But these days, you are at the bar, if you don't have a table, there's a problem. In fact, when we got to Abuja, that's when I realized that there's this very serious mentality that is creeping, or rather has crept into our society. Very unhealthy competition. Inside this bar, at the center, right, of where everybody's meant to dance and play, there is a VIP lounge. Those days, to get into that VIP lounge, you had to pay, wait for it, 200,000 naira. It does not make sense. Why would anybody spend 200,000 naira to be sat down in the middle of a room so that everybody else looks at them? And so it has spiraled out of control. You see it in churches. Some women will come. If you go to some churches, it's very clear. The people who have money are sat down on the left with their geles that will blind all of you so that you can't even see the pastor when you're behind. The people that don't have money are sat down on the right. You can see the preacher from way back because none of the women there have geles that are obstructing your view. They're all wearing small, scarves. Everybody's humble. The humble people are the right. The not so humble people are the left. The ones apparently like God is blessing at the left. But it doesn't even stop there, because now we are not putting that unhealthy competition in our children. Because I told you, I just saw something in my neighborhood. A child, made a comment. You people's generators not as big as our generator now. It's not a past my neighbor generator people have. We have big generator that can carry our fridge and our freezer. Very unhealthy competition. The question I'm asking this morning is, how can this be reversed? Even the name of that portable generator is derogatory. It makes everybody now want to try to get something better. There's nothing wrong with admission. But if you have a portable generator, you should be happy about it, depending on your means. In quotes, I better pass my neighbor. So who's your neighbor? Is it your goal to have your neighbor be in poverty? I will wrap up by saying this. A few years ago, when this GSM came to this country, people were carrying their big phones. Those days, big phones. Carry big phone like everybody know. Then when you didn't have money, you buy those small, we used to call them pasala phones. At least you can make call, you can text, right? But guess what? Those phones, whether big or small these days, are available everywhere. And because they are available, I don't need to beg you for your phone to make my calls or send my messages or send my Facebook message or check my Facebook. I don't. And we are all happy, aren't we? How come we can't seem to, as it were, mirror that into virtually every aspect of our social life? My name is Jude. Let's see how terrible you guys are this morning.
The views and opinions shared on this program do not represent the position of Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info, let's talk.
Turn down the volume of your radio set. Refrain from making derogatory or defamatory comments. Didn't see it or hear it? Please do not make unsubstantiated and unverified claims. Do not make inciting statements. Numbers to call: 08179230002, 08179230007. At Nigeria Info PH, at Nigeria Info PH is where you find us on Facebook and on X at Nigeria Info PH at Nigeria Info PH. Now, my question is this: unhealthy competition in society, how can we reverse it? That's our focus this morning. How can we reverse this unhealthy, some would even say downright demonic? Because it's gotten to the point where people right in your mosque, in your churches, in your schools are now struggling to keep up appearances. Or they are like you say, keep up with the Joneses. Ibiso from Audley Road. Good morning to you, Ibiso.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank God it's Friday.
It is Friday.
Yes, you know that song, Compiti? Dude, oh my God. You know, we're talking about competition. Now, you major church, you major club, go to the school, private schools now. Some parents, in the morning, when they are going to drop their kids in the school, they will wear social designers. In the afternoon, when they start pick up the kid, they will wear another one again. Like, everybody is competing. In the school, now, birthday, hey, a past wedding.
Can you imagine?
So the competition, the thing there is everybody wants to show up.
But why?
Like,
But why?
so everyone to show up.
But okay, wait. So if you can, right, call us back. But that's the real question. Why? Birthdays are becoming something else. Birthdays for children, adults will come up, and then they're all happy and dancing. you're just joining us, I'm asking this question about unhealthy competition in our society. It's everywhere. It's not a Nigerian thing. Don't get me wrong, all right? I'm not saying only Nigerians have it. It's everywhere. The idea that I'm better than you is everywhere, all right? A lot of people fall for it. But what is peculiar with the Nigerian scenario is how widespread it has gotten, right? We're not looking at people who are in sectors. I mean, all sectors, to the point that even our slogans, even what we use every day, begins to depict, a certain level of competition. Yes, I know we live in a capitalistic system and you always have a classism, that will rear its head at one point or the other. But to the point where people do things oddly, to the point where even children are now mimicking or trying to mimic what they see adults do, it's a serious cause for concern. In fact, Carl just sent me a message. It says, it appears you don't know that some people now call those generators, I better pass my enemy. You see? It used to be, the first time I'm hearing it, I better pass my, I used to know those portable generators to be known as I better pass my neighbor. Now it's now my enemy. And obviously due to inflation and whatnot, those things that used to be sold, in fact, I think we got one when it was 10,000 naira. Or is it 11,500 naira? I can't forget. Yes, 11,500. Now I hear those generators brand new now retail for about 65,000 naira. Brand new. So is it really your enemy? Or I don't understand. How do we get to the point where, you're better than my enemy because I now have a generator? How? It's led to unhealthy competition. Like I said earlier, we're giving the stories and the comparisons between the church and the nightclubs. Can you imagine that we live in a time where we are now comparing mosque, churches and bars, discotheques in the same conversation? This is not to say that if you go to the bar, you go to the discotheque, you're wrong. No. But these are places we're meant to be places where we should be more inclusive. But no. The stratification is even worse these days. Any club or nightclub back then that would tell us we have to pay to enter, to spend our money, a lot of times I tell my friends, I am not going with you. Doesn't make sense. If the place is open, is free, and your drinks are 2,000 naira, I'd rather go there. Why would I pay to go and pay money? It's not like it's a recreational activity I can't get anywhere else. But we see people going there. Some of you carry girls, 5 or 6 girls. You sit down there, everybody, if you don't have bottles. In fact, it's so bad now that when you are at the bars, for example, and a guy is just walking around, that guy don't get money. Or if the girl is not on the table, now hustling babe. Whatever happens to just going there to meet, interact, socialize, make a new friend for heaven's sakes? Well, Kingsley's on the line. Kingsley is speaking to us from Nkoro. Kingsley, good morning. Good morning, Kingsley. Hello, Kingsley.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Kingsley. Go on, please. Wabi Biso on the line as well. But let's hear from you, please.
I said for stopping the competition, it will be very hard.
So what do we do?
Yeah, it will be very hard. So it can't stop.
You sure it can't stop?
Yes.
Ibiso, Kingsley says it cannot stop. Yes. Do you believe it can't stop?
Okay. Yes. Okay. But as I was saying, you go to the school, the same thing. Go to children's birthday party, the same thing. Like last week, you made mention of about men, and Mr. Zion was telling you about a man that he met at the bar. Why other people are just beating him, something like that.
Oh yes, now, yes, and he bought him a drink.
Now, someone said that our church we used to use. You are not using anything. They will not bring different. Do you know that now some members can even say that Pastor Jude is one of which is more better than his own. Members of this is church members bringing confusion in the Christendom. Women, August meeting, they said this list that we use this year, we will not use it last year. So the women that cannot afford it cannot come to that August meeting. The chair lady of the meeting will say that if you don't have this new one, don't come for the meeting. Competition that has no head and tail, putting family in problem. Now, the modern name of this one they are talking is packaging. They call it packaging. The headquarters of packaging in Nigeria is Lagos. Fake life is Lagos. Because some people that are saying they want to live the life that they cannot even afford, put it on social media, they cannot come to River State to see their family.
Oh, wow.
Yes, Jude, I'm telling you this. Ask anybody in Lagos. When you go to Lagos, those that are saying the highland, they are the Jerusalem. Why those are saying the mainland? I don't know to call them. Because of the fake life.
Is it in Jerusalem?
You ask anybody. You know, I used to go to your station in Lagos at Victoria Island.
Victoria Island, yes.
So people are living fake life. Some of them will go and stand at front of Bentley and take a picture. Meanwhile, they don't drink in the morning. They'll go to where the current president is at Bodilon. Take a good picture because they have sky building there. And put it on social media. So now you see that the fake life that they are living and the package they are living, they cannot come to their place and give people money. Because when a couple expect that what they are seeing on social media, come to the show, okay. Competition, fake life. Some people go and hire a car of 50,000 a day.
Okay. Well,
you know, instead of to take the number that they will take, they want to use to go to an event. When they come out with police and this thing.
Okay.
Fake life, competition. Some police can even see that, Jude, this is an event. We want us to come and guide you. Tell us, let us come and guide you. Fake life, packaging. Competition everywhere.
How do we change it? How do we reverse it? Israel is now harder. Israel, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, good morning, Jude.
Good morning, please.
Yeah, this is a comment. Dixon Israel from Odreka.
Welcome, please.
My brother, what you are saying about Atas, my neighbor, people are using some of their conditions to mock others. It's pride. It's pride. If not because of pride, you could have seen Nigeria could have been a better place for me and you to live. If somebody have a car of 2 million, he will be likely to buy a car of 200 million just for the braggart to boast himself that so person I have gotten so amount level of car. And somebody who built a house in Port Harcourt, he would like to build in Abuja, he would like to build in Lagos, he would like to go and build for Dubai. That is braggart. That is why Bible was quantified this as vanity, all upon vanity. It's nothing to take home about it for the hands of God. That is braggart. If not so, if you buy a generator and you call it I pass my neighbor, it's very bad. Very, very bad, Jude. So the way we are practicing and the way we are living on this earth is not enticing God at all. That is why God is not happy with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If I were God, I probably wouldn't be happy as well. You know, because I don't get it. I have a generator. Yes, my generator can power my fridge and my AC, but you know, at least it can keep me, you know, cool. You know, I've been able to buy an appliance. It's almost the same thing as those who are going to be, who have been, you know, putting others down because they don't have an iOS device. Oh, you're using Android. Remember when there was, I don't know if is it still a thing in Nigeria? Is it still a thing that if you have an Android phone, they look down on you? These days, the Android devices are way more expensive. Some of the flip Android devices cost as much as 1.7 million. And these are not even the top end. But yes, some people have iOS. And when you catch them, they're probably using the iOS 10. Or there's something inherently wrong in these perceptions. Something is inherently wrong. It shouldn't continue, really. Good morning, Jude. This is on WhatsApp, by the way. 08090306416. Good morning, Jude. It is a leadership problem. Leadership is the solution. Uma from Rumudara. How is it a leadership problem? If you can elaborate, I'll be very, very pleased. 90.3, good morning.
Hello, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, please.
Thank you. This is Doris from Lupokon.
Good morning, Doris.
Yes. Jude, you see this thing about competitive life. a caller spoke, he said it will not stop. The only thing that can help us is contentment and accepting our level of achievement in life. Now, this is why I'm saying this. It's most time difficult if you are doing well in life, like you're wealthy. For many people, they can really want to live like a paper. That's someone who is not doing well. I don't know if you get me.
Yeah.
Now, then when you look at yourself, you know that you cannot afford something that someone big, someone who is wealthier than you, can afford. Also accept your own level of life. What I'm saying is this. Though there are people who are wealthy and they boast, but that's not good. But then there are also some others who do not have enough as another person has. And that fact alone sometimes makes people jealous of people who have more. And so they don't see themselves. It looks like what someone has is a challenge to them. Not for good to try and be more successful, but now to try and compete with that person. And that person has 10 clothes. You just want to go and use the little you have that you will use for something good, to go and make 10 clothes as well. The person's life becomes a challenge to you, or just unnecessarily. You want to see if you will meet up with that person. Anything the person does, it hurts you when the person is trying to is getting more successful. But what makes you happier is content. That's why you see social media. I'm really sorry for a lot of persons who allow social media to lead them astray. You mustn't do everything. You mustn't be carried away. You mustn't talk everything. You have to. People are not working on themselves. See, watch the way we think. Personally, what I do is I watch the way I think. If I see that what somebody has is beginning to anger me, or it's beginning to make me to go beyond a certain level, I will begin to see that thing is a feeling of unhealthy competition, because I want to do something so that I will be like that person I'm doing.
Okay. Thank you very much. Emeka is speaking to us from Asaba. Emeka, good morning to you, please.
Yeah, hello, Jude. Good morning.
Good morning, please. Thank you for your patience.
You see, Jude, to curb this unhealthy competition, if fathers and mothers should start raising their children by impacting good morals into them, that is how to make a better society before our deceitful prayer will start to work. If we have maybe most children of these days are being impacted, good morals are being impacted into them. You see, in the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they'll start behaving properly. And our prayer will start to work. So that is just the secret. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much. So we need to start to inculcate good morals into young people. All right. Blessing says it's unlikely that this competitive lifestyle will completely end, as competition is deeply ingrained in human nature. However, societal values and trends can evolve, leading to shifts in the way competition is expressed or prioritized. Blessing from Woji. Thank you very much. Blessing. Small gen. Jude, it's not the owners of the gen that calls it better pass my neighbor. It is those that have the big gen that call it that to talk down on their neighbor's efforts. Jonathan. Small gen, I better pass my neighbor. Mini boss, keke boss. And I'm looking, very true. Very true. The mini bus that is all over the country right now, they're not calling it keke bus because it's small. So it's not. But funny enough, I actually prefer going in those. And if you know anything about automotive history, those buses were specifically designed for the Asian market because of their narrow streets and because of their fuel consumption. Walter is speaking to us from Rukwaku. Walter, good morning to you, please.
Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
This is a good conversation. So, Jude, you ask if this thing can be stopped.
Can be reversed.
People are saying no. I am saying no with them too.
Why? Why? It wasn't always like this.
The problem is from we, the parents. We are the cause. We are the problem. Why do I say so? Jude, look, like what you said in those days. Do your parents, do you dictate what you need from your parents, or your parents offer you something? Well, you like it or not, you are going to school.
You're wearing it.
you have to eat what they offer to you,
True.
what they prepare to you.
Very true.
Then today, reverse is the case. Your child will dictate what he or she will take before, even not bad. It will dictate indomie, rice, this and that, and will prepare that for them. Look, yesterday, my small granddaughter of 5 years, told me that tomorrow is my birthday. Thank you, but yeah. He said the grandmother said I should bring money for her birthday. I said, tell her mommy to prepare those things that she needed for you. Do you understand me? Okay, now look at these boys. Some of them don't have their school sacks. This is the major problem. It's the major problem you will have. This Yahoo everywhere. Internet. That's the problem. Another problem we have. Somebody you have not entered to school or that. I don't know what I was used to say. All the school sacks you don't have. You see them big phones of 500, 600,000 more children. And your parents will not ask them where to get this money to buy this phone.
Yeah, true.
See them renting houses. 1 bedroom at my place is 200,000. 1 bedroom, here. 200,000. And you see all these small boys. Are the people renting all these apartments?
Well, so thank you very much. Ken is in Ubumini. We have Bob from Oguluma. Ken, let's hear from you quickly, please.
Good morning, Jude.
Good morning, Ken.
Jude, can you tell us that everything or whatever thing that is on the high side is being reversed in this our country? Any high-tested or introduction of whatever thing in this country remains like that.
Well,
back in days, we had what we called OBT 419. And for now, it has turned to Yahoo. Our parents now are introducing, encouraging, advising us, being their children, to engage in this life because of the high test where their mates or their age grade are siphoning some group of persons or some people's money in order to live to their expectations because of greed and high test. I passed my neighbor. I can do it more than you.
Yeah. But that's a very bad way of describing something that somebody has struggled for. Bob is Nogoloma. Bob, good morning to you, please.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, Bob.
Yes, good morning. I want to contribute to the issue on ground.
Yes, please, go on.
Okay. So we are talking about what should be done to
reverse
address.
Yes.
Yes. I think legislation and
legislation
policy. Yes. Like in some other climes, the type of car you drive or any of those luxurious items, the type you use influences your tax payment.
Okay.
You cannot come here from Porsche and then at the end of the day you pay nothing. So that's probably what is making people behave that way.
But even if taxes are introduced, you still have people who will do those things because they can afford to pay those taxes. Once again, still creating unhealthy competition. Don't get it. I really don't get it. All right, let's wrap up by reading some comments here. Good morning, Jude. Our problem in this part of the world is that 95% of the people are mentally poor. We embrace evil over good. The solution is to train and retrain our minds. This has to start from our leaders. Ken Yabari with that comment. Thank you very much, Ken. The thing is a result of people not minding their own business. It leads to low self-esteem and folks make silly assumptions. Some people are furiously competing with someone who is not aware of their existence and they're still losing. Even parents who ask, your classmate that came first, does he have 10 heads, are not helping. I think this is very true. Oh, this is very true. I know we use that line as a way of motivating or, trying to tell our children that the success of that person is not beyond your reach. But then, I think it's been overflogged in that manner. It really has been. Now, I honestly believe nobody is my mate, even if we're the same age, so I mind my business. Someone got mad because her comments couldn't trigger me into buying stuff I don't even like to show off. My self-worth isn't based on stuff. I can't be bullied or emotionally blackmailed into acquiring anything to prove I'm better or richer than anyone. All right, good morning, Jude. Unhealthy competition, unhealthy rivalry among citizens with regard to material acquisition and social achievement, etc., predates the advent of Pass My Neighbor generators. Indeed, the generator got its appellation from the already existing phenomenon. The most fundamental issues, the reasoning is lack of awareness of the power of love of fellow citizens on one hand and ignorance, the true use of material acquisitions. All right, I'm going to read this message again. Let me get on a break.
The entire members of Rotary Club of Port Harcourt Echo District 9141, a cause-based club with a mandate to save the environment.